Hi everyone, Greeno here and welcome to another episode here on my Greeno Eats channel. Now today we're going to be featuring another one of my meals that's less than a quid, another kind of cheap eats budget meal. And today we are featuring another Iceland product. We have this, chicken and bacon pie. Now this is another one of the items from Iceland's pound range. So there's 2 chicken and bacon pies in here for £1. Now, the first thing I'll notice is they don't seem very heavy, and if you look at the packaging, they seem like they're going to be a bit thin, don't they? But I guess maybe they've got a puff pastry lid or whatever, so they'll puff up and look a bit more impressive. If you look at the picture on the outside of the packet, they don't look too bad, do they? So, what I'm going to be doing with this, I'm going to be making this with a cheese and spring onion baked potato and some peas. And that comes in at 99p with all the ingredients. Let's go and take a look at what we got. So here are all the ingredients for this cheap and hopefully very tasty meal. So we have the chicken and bacon pie here. Now it's got a creamy filling in there, which is why I've decided not to bother making any gravy to go with this. Normally pie mash and gravy is a bit of a go-to, isn't it? We've got a baking potato here. So that weighs in at 275 grams. Got 1 spring onion and some cheese. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook the baked potato, then I'm going to cut it in half, scoop the insides out, mix it with the spring onion and the cheese, and then bake it some more in the air fryer. The pie cooks in the air fryer anyway, so that's all good. And in here we have 100 grams of frozen garden peas. Overall I think that's going to be quite a nice, tasty, fresh, kind of slightly lighter meal than you'd normally expect when you're having a pie. So I'm going to cook the jacket potato the way I normally would, which is to start it off in the microwave until it's almost cooked, and then you cook it, well, either in the oven or the air fryer. You just want to crisp up the outside. If you just cook a jacket potato in the microwave, yeah, it cooks through okay, but the outside skin, you don't get that nice sort of almost crispy texture to it. So that's what we're going to do. Start it in the microwave. Obviously the pie's going in the air fryer anyway, so I'll put the jacket potato in there to cook up while the pie is cooking. Take it out 10 minutes before the pie is done or whatever. Scoop all the insides out, mix in the cheese and the spring onion and put it all back in. And it should all, fingers crossed, be cooked about the same time. We'll see. Okay, so the baked potato is cooked in the microwave. Oh, that's hot. You can see it's just sort of a little bit soft. What we want to do is crisp that skin up, like I said. The pie here is ready to go in. That's going to take 20 minutes, I think, in the air fryer. So we'll put the potato in at the same time as the pie. When the potato's had about 8-9 minutes or something like that, we'll take it out and I'm going to scoop it out and mix it in with the cheese and with the spring onion. You can see I've cut that up really finely there. Mix that all in together and then we're going to restuff the halves of the potato skin and then cook it as 2 halves. Should be pretty nice, I reckon. We want to take the edge off of the kind of rawness of these onions. The cheese will add a nice kind of creaminess to it. Should be good. Right, time to get this into the air fryer. Come back when the spud is ready to be hollowed out. Okay, so the potato is cooked up pretty nicely now. As you can see, I'm going to put it in a little paper towel to stop it burning my hands quite so much. And what we do now, we're just going to scoop out all of this kind of flesh from the potato, trying to keep the skin as intact as possible. And we're going to mix that all in with the cheese and the spring onion. Now this is actually a way I like to make mashed potato. You can kind of see that the potato comes out nice and dry from inside. Sometimes when you make mashed potato just in boiling water, I find it gets a bit kind of wet, watery. So quite often if we're making mash at home for anything, it's a bit laborious, but it makes better mash. And of course the bonus is if you make mash this way, you can keep the skins, cook them up, and you've got nice potato skins. Again, you can put cheese and bacon and ham and all that kind of good stuff into them. So I'm going to scoop the other one out, get the mix all mixed up, and then we're going to refill these and put them back into the air fryer. So you can see I'm just doing this fairly roughly here, not using a masher or anything like that, but just using a spoon, getting in there and mixing it all together. Now, the heat of that potato is already melting the cheese, which is helping it kind of come together. You can smell the onions as well. I put a little bit of pepper in there just for seasoning. I haven't added any salt because the cheese should add that salty element. But there you can see it's come together kind of like you'd expect a mashed potato to, isn't it? So what we have to do now, like I say, you pick up your little potato shell and we just fill it back up again. And then it's going to go in, back into the air fryer, bake it. We should get a nice kind of little bit of crispiness on the top, I guess, where some of that cheese will melt. And it'll be a nice accompaniment to that pie. Really looking forward to this. Okay, so here is the finished meal. Now the pie doesn't look too bad to me. It's got a nice golden top. It has puffed up a little bit. You can see there's a short crust pastry underneath, and it looks like a sort of puffish pastry kind of thing on the top. These potatoes look delicious. Can you see how they've kind of browned and crisped up a little bit on the top? I kind of fluffed them up a little bit just before I put them back into the air fryer, so you get some of these little gnarly kind of crispy bits. And a nice portion of peas, nice and bright and green. Peas are peas, but I like them. Right, let's give it a try. Okay, so we're going to start with the peas. They're the simplest little thing, aren't they? Like I say, it's about 12 pence worth of peas, 100 grams. I generally tend to cook peas a little bit less than it says in the packet instructions, because I really like them still to have that freshness. These are good. But peas are peas, right? It's a nice little accompaniment to a meal like this. Nice and light and fresh. I mean, you could even have a salad or something instead of peas with this, but I couldn't get that into budget. So it's got to be less than £1, hasn't it? This is 99 pence worth of food. So again, let's have a little look at these potatoes. Now they've cooled down a touch. Show you there. So you've got a nice skin on there. Little gnarly bits on the top where it's all sort of browned up a little bit. And hopefully, having cooked in the air fryer all together like that for about 10 minutes, it will take some of the edge off of that raw onion. I'm not a huge fan of raw onion, as we all know. Spring onions are a little bit milder. There we are. I'll take a look at the inside of that. Still steaming hot. Yeah, I can feel it's hot as soon as I put it near my mouth. That's yummy. The cheese mixed into the potato has made a really smooth mashed potato. The onion, like I say, it's had the edge taken off of it. So you do get a pronounced onion flavour, but it's not that sharp, raw taste. So you can taste the cheese in there, even though there's only 20 grams of cheese in the whole thing. I have used a mature cheddar just to make sure we get as much flavour as possible out of it. It's not a huge cheese flavour, but it's there, you know. The skin provides another texture. And of course, that's where all the goodness is. You got your fibre and everything in the skin. That's a great little accompaniment, that really is. Now, the pie. I guess this is the star of the show. I'm going to try and cut it in half here and see if I can pick one half up to show you closer to the camera. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible without getting it everywhere, but we'll try. So there we are. That's the pie with the filling. So it's a white sauce in there. And to be honest, it doesn't look badly filled, does it? It's got quite a nice bacony aroma coming off of it straight away. The pastry is nice and crisp on the top. I don't think this looks bad. especially for 50p a pie. I mean, blimey. So let's give it a little try. I'm not sure how much chicken we're going to find in here, but you know what? That's not bad. So the pastry, having the contrast of the two pastries is quite interesting. With the puff pastry, you kind of get that kind of crunch, but it doesn't really taste of that much. Whereas the short crust underneath is almost like a biscuity texture and really does have a nice taste to it. It really does. I've not found any significant pieces of chicken. There are little bits of bacon floating around in here. There's like a chickeny flavour through the sauce. Like I say, you can see these little pieces of bacon. I mean, they are little pieces, as you can see here. But they're nice and salty. A little bit smoky. Yeah, I'm not. I'd probably call it a bacon and white sauce pie, to be honest. The chicken content is minimal, but I tell you what, it is tasty. And I think having a white sauce in there means you can have this as a lighter meal. Like I said before, if you're going to have a pie, normally you're thinking pie and chips, pie and mash, maybe with some gravy, some mushy peas or something like that. But this, do you know what? It almost kind of reminds me of having a piece of quiche. With that sort of pastry on the bottom, that bacony flavour. That's kind of the vibe you get. And like I say, I think you could easily have this with a salad on a summer's day and it would work perfectly well. Could you have it with mash and gravy? Yeah, why not? But I think this, as a little lighter meal, as a lunch, absolutely perfect. And yet again, under a quid. So let me know in the comments section down below if you've tried any of these Iceland £1 deals. They've got 2 or 3 different pies, I think. There's a meat and potato one, which I'm quite keen to try if I can pick that up somewhere. This chicken and bacon one, for 50p a pie, I think is a winner. Is there a lot of chicken in there? No, but for 50p would you expect there to be? But the flavour of it is good. The sauce is nice and smooth. There's bits of bacon in there which give a really nice kind of salty, smoky flavour. And the pastry is really tasty, to be fair. Could it do with being a bit bigger? Yeah, of course. But it's a 50p pie. Somewhere along the line, there have got to be compromises, haven't there? Now, to have accompanied that with those cheese and spring onion baked potatoes and the peas, I think worked really well. I think you should try that sort of baked potato thing. You can do it with all sorts of stuff. Cheese generally is the way to go, but you could mix it with cheese and ham, cheese and bacon, anything that goes with cheese, really. You could put some tuna and sweet corn into it, something like that. It's just a different way of eating a baked potato. Baked potato on its own can be a little bit boring, and if you're just tipping the stuff over the top, it's okay, but you end up just with a bit of bland potato at the bottom. This way, you've mixed it all in together. You're going to get flavour throughout. I really like it. I'm going to be doing it again. And just to use up the rest of the budget, to get some peas on there, a little bit of colour, a little bit of freshness, a few vitamins, never hurts, does it? I think that was a really good meal for less than a quid. Can't go wrong. Right then, folks, so if you've enjoyed today's little video showcasing the Iceland chicken and bacon pie in a meal for less than £1, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like what you've seen, why not consider clicking the subscribe button, ding your little bell for notifications, and that way you won't miss anything that comes up on the channel. Right, that's it from me until the next time. See you then. Bye for now.